I'll never forget the first time I sat in my daughter's room in my old apartment. I sat in our beige glider, the chair that I read stories in, the one where I rocked my baby to sleep. I looked around her new room, taking in my surroundings. I didn't speak, I just sat, completely overwhelmed. I had just finished the 700-mile road trip to this new apartment from my home state of Georgia. My marriage wasn't even 2 years old. 5 months after our daughter was born, my husband said he wanted a divorce. 2 months later, he asked if we could move back to his hometown of Crown Point. I said no. I didn't want to move my baby across the country, away from my family. I didn't want to move without the promise of a restored marriage. But as I prayed, I felt God was telling me to support my husband and move. I knew it was best for him. I knew it was best for my daughter to be near him, but what about me? Right then, I felt so strongly in my spirit that God said, I will take care of you. As I sat slumped in that glider, staring at my new home, I didn't feel taken care of. The apartment was fine, but there were little things that drove me nuts. At the front door, there were 2 steps leading to a landing. Then, as you walked into the apartment, 2 steps leading you back down. It was a pointless platform. The living room was too small for my massive couch and TV. The dining area was just a small section of the living room, so it didn't fit my beautiful, large dining room table. The kitchen was so small with only one drawer, the skinny one beside the stove that's used for spatulas. My daughter's tiny bedroom had one window overlooking the scenic parking lot. My bedroom barely fit my massive king-sized bed. I did have a large closet, which was a pleasant surprise. There was no yard, just a small balcony. There weren't many young families there, so no community for the 2 of us. It wasn't my dream home. Frankly, it was my nightmare. Not because of the apartment itself, but because of what it meant. That apartment represented a life I didn't ask for. In that apartment, I spent my first night away from my daughter. In that kitchen, I opened the letter that told me my husband had filed for divorce. On that oversized couch, I spent years trying to fix our marriage before we actually signed. In that living room, I heard him tell me that he was having a baby with another woman. In that apartment, I accepted the fact that my marriage was over and my life as a single mom needed to start. I kept reminding God, you said you'd take care of me. It's been 2 years since I lived in that apartment. My daughter still says she misses it sometimes. I don't really miss it, but I don't see the negatives anymore. I see joy. Those 2 steps at the front door, that's where my daughter took her first steps. The small living room became her playroom and art studio. On that couch, I got the call that the offer on our new home was accepted. At the small dining table, I watched my little girl pray for the first time. The tiny kitchen fostered a love of cooking for me and my girl. That bedroom was home to her first big girl bed. The scenic parking lot was the first place she saw snow. The balcony became our favorite place to wave at neighbors. And speaking of neighbors, the apartment led us to Miss Ann, a best friend to me and a third grandmother to my daughter. My bedroom was full of tears, where I was comforted by an all-loving father. And that closet I mentioned, it became my prayer room. I spent hours on my knees begging God to come close, and he did. God did not save my marriage, but he saved me. He grew my faith in ways I would never imagine, all inside that tiny apartment. He provided people who have walked alongside me to pray for me and point me to Christ. He provided a job at a ministry, a beautiful home. He has nourished my relationship with my family in Georgia and my relationship with my ex-husband so we can co-parent as friends. He has created the most beautiful bond between me and my daughter. He has shown me my place as his never-forgotten child. I'm still on a healing journey, a journey of sanctification with the Lord, and it's not easy. I miss home. Being a single mom is really hard some days. Divorce takes its toll. But I am not walking that journey alone, and I've never been alone. I know Christ has a beautiful ending for my story, but as I look around right now, I can see all the details, all the moments of faithfulness reminding me that he was always there. Right now, God is doing so much more than giving you a happy ending. He's giving you a beautiful story that is detailed, purposeful, thoughtful, and loving on every single page. Okay. You ready? Here we go. Ready? Set.